Live from Black Costina Studios is the 211th edition of the HWR show. You want me to do that again?
We're live.
We're live, man.
Okay.
You can't take it back now.
Oh,
That's Abel. This is Travis. That's Chris.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. We very much appreciate it. I have you pulled up right here on my cell phone. So if you want to chat away with us, please do so. I'll see it here, and then I'll be able to interact with you guys. If you say crazy stuff, call us out on our bullshit, correct us, fact check us, do whatever. We'd appreciate it.
Fact check us?
Fact.
Oh, I already know I am.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pair of Kamalas over here.
I know, right? We got a lot of stuff.
Kimchi.
Hey, there you go.
We got a lot of stuff to cover. We had two
'Cause he was
major.
fat.
What? We had two major title changes this week.
Good start.
We had the debut of 205 Live. Well, actually, no, we had three major title changes this week, actually.
Yeah.
Is that what we want to start off with? Maybe a little bit of Lucha Underground?
Lucha Underground! Oh, we got it.
What? All right, Lucha Underground.
Who saw Lucha?
Yo.
You saw some.
I saw some of it. Here's the thing. Before we continue the show, I got to say, we're coming off of Thanksgiving week.
Which entails what?
Eating and shopping and sleeping.
Yeah.
And napping and not working.
In that order?
Sure.
Okay.
Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Giving Tuesday, and then today.
Giving Tuesday.
Yeah.
No.
Charities.
Thanksgiving was on Thursday.
Yeah.
Right, not Tuesday.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's
Actually.
Huh?
Anyway, I didn't. Watching wrestling wasn't my priorities for this past week. So
What was your priority? What'd you wind up getting?
Oh, I got stuff.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
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 I got one thing.
One.
Juan.
Yeah.
One more team.
Yeah.
Asshole.
I took advantage of the Xbox One S.
Yes.
What makes it so S? What's it?
Slim.
Slim? Oh, chiquito.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the Travis of the HWR show. We're the originals.
We're the big one. Yeah.
And here's Slim over here.
40% shorter.
Yeah.
Smaller.
Marshall Mathers over
Yeah.
here.
Mm.
Yeah. Slim and shady. Yeah. So that was his
Okay.
excuse.
Yeah.
There you go. No, I watched everything because I was sick all week, so I was just sitting on the couch watching stuff. So
Oh, you need to be sick more often.
yeah, I know, right? Well, that's why I wasn't on the show last week.
Should we give you a hug?
No, you
No.
probably don't want to.
No?
you don't want to catch it.
Okay. I could use some time off.
Yeah, that's true. You could. You hard-working man.
From what?
Counting money? What do bankers do? You just sit there all day.
Make sure the chair doesn't
You
fall
want
over.
You want to get into this? You're gonna learn today.
I'm gonna learn today. All right.
What on Lucha stood out the most for you?
Actually, it wasn't the title change that I referenced at the beginning of this. It was actually the match with Fox and Killshot. I really
Wait, what
enjoyed
was
the
it?
match.
Hold on. What was the title change?
Okay, the title change was Sexy Star
Uh-huh.
losing the Lucha
Wait,
Underground title.
she just won it.
She just
Yeah.
won it, and she just lost it.
That was a big thing. We talked about that last week. That
Yeah,
was a big deal.
It was a big deal. It was a big deal, and she dropped it to Mundo like a sack of potatoes, just like that.
Like panties on prom night.
How do we feel about that?
The way I feel about that is I think that the better match and the better thing to talk about is Fox versus Killshot.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
I can't say anything.
I'll give it this week to see how they build on that.
Yeah.
If they're just gonna wipe it down under the rug like the best of 5 series that we still haven't gotten the finale of,
Oh,
You
yeah.
know?
That's still a thing,
or
right?
a couple of other things on Lucha Underground that as good as Lucha Underground is and becoming one of our favorite shows because it's only an hour, a lot of stuff does get left off. And hopefully the aftermath of the Sexy Star title loss isn't something that gets left off. I want to
Right.
see what happens.
Well,
as soon
is
as we
this
get off.
is this going to be more thing because last few weeks has been a lot of backstage between Mundo and Dario.
Right.
So did that play off after the match or anything?
No.
Okay, so maybe next week we'll.
Yeah, maybe we'll get something. I mean, it wasn't like a clean win that Johnny Mundo did, right? There were some
No.
shenanigans to it.
It was supposed to be a clean match, and for Johnny Moon, in his defense, it was a clean match up until the very end, where a
Right.
fan, which turned out to be Taya,
a
In
fan in a
disguise.
luchador mask
Oh.
had a crutch And well, the crutch got involved in the match, started whacking Sexy Stars. Like, oh, what's this crazy fan? Well, it was Taya. So yeah,
It sounds like WWE shit.
Yeah,
because we saw Jericho in a Sin Cara.
Yeah.
You mean Sin Jericho?
Excuse me. No, we saw Sin
Sin Cara
Cara.
in a Jericho mask.
Yeah.
Right.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. So yeah, I didn't really care too much for the match itself, and I really don't care too much for the title change itself. Again, early front runner for the week was Fox versus Killshot for match of the week for me. That was my early front runner. To me, that kicked off the week good because that was the first match of the first show that I watched, and it stood strong.
The second match, yeah.
Oh, was it? Oh,
The
okay.
opening match with a 6-man
Oh,
tag.
that's right. You're right. But it stood strong throughout the week.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I think maybe something dethroned it, but for a good while there, I was thinking that was going to be my pick.
The biggest caveat that I found watching it, and I actually watched it twice later on the next day after I originally saw it when I purchased the iTunes.
Okay.
It came off kind of Street Fighter 2-ish.
Really?
Here's the comparison.
Okay.
Every wrestler tries so hard to be different from everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite matchups when I would play Street Fighter 2 was Ken versus Ryu, because you were basically the same guy fighting each other with the same skills, same moveset, and it just took something different from the player or from a CPU that would alter the finish of the match. So I had never seen a carbon copy of somebody like this doing almost the same moves back to back. And that kind of was refreshing for me, as opposed to just seeing different kind of styles against each other or different kind of heights or sizes. This literally felt like Ken versus Ryu from Street Fighter 2, and I was like looking for quarters by the time the match was over. I liked it, and that. Besides everything that you're going to mention about the match itself and moves and everything and storyline of these two, yeah, that so far, and could still be my match of the week pick. But there's some heavy contention this week.
There is.
But I like that match a lot. And of course, it's Lucha. They somehow, even when they hit a single, that single tends to be meaningful.
Mm-hmm.
And this week, Dante versus
well, I think it was a really good debut for Dante or Fox or whatever we're calling him. And for it being a debut match, somebody that we're not supposed to know who he is. I found out after the fact that, oh, this is AR Fox, which, I mean, I never really
I've heard that name.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was the same way. I was like, oh, I've heard that name. I've never really seen his work. So I didn't know who he was. And, I was like, oh, that's who AR Fox is? Oh, cool. Well, I guess I like him,
That's all it takes.
Yeah.
If you're black and flippy dippy, he likes you.
Yeah.
We're just black.
Or just flippy dippy. No, I mean, I liked him. It was a good debut. I like the fact that right from the get-go, we have storyline with him. We have built-in heat already with him and Killshot, who's been established for maybe a half a season. So yeah, I dig it.
Ooh, what do you think?
I dig it.
That's the only flaw I have in this match as far as it being my match of the week candidate.
Okay.
For someone that's supposed to be a heel storyline-wise, it might have been his independent wrestling popularity that was getting him a lot more cheers than needed to be.
Okay. I get
That's
that.
my only nitpick on that match. But it was enough.
That's not a fault of him, though.
Right.
Yeah. You can make that case.
Well, hold on. We were really high on this match, and I know that whenever we say, hey, you need to watch this match, and this match is good, whenever we put that caveat on it, the person that watches it is like, it's okay.
Cleans the glasses and makes sure he's really paying attention.
You didn't really watch all of Lucha, but you did see that match.
I saw this match because y'all both told me on separate occasions, oh, match of the week, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, and I finally got to watch it, and yeah, it's and I tried to
not let that happen.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, I mean, I appreciate the storyline that they're telling, and I appreciate the characters, what they're doing. But as far as that particular match, to me, it was just paint by numbers spot fest. You just have your standard one-on-one match. Do a special move here, do a special move there.
Kick out.
Yeah, and even then, don't get me wrong. I love some of the spots that I saw, but my problem is, especially with Killshot, this is not just him. This is a majority of the wrestlers that I see nowadays. It's their special, flashy move that they do, like his rolling RKO.
Yeah,
badass looking move. I've already seen it several times. So when he pulls it out of this match, it's like, oh, okay, well, it's just rolling RKO. Like I can't get. It looks cool.
The new car smell's already gone.
Yeah, but it's not. That's not him. It's probably me just watching.
Watching too much wrestling.
Yeah, and being old.
For perspective's sake.
But I didn't get the vibe that y'all got.
Was Lucha the first show you watched on this week's menu of wrestling?
Yes.
So was mine, and it was the last on his. So after the stiff competition, I'm sure this is why it might have fallen.
I don't even think it has something to do with that, man. Like honestly, I wasn't like. I was trying to get into the match. I just couldn't do it. It didn't have anything to do. Like I wasn't thinking, "Ooh, is it going to top that other match I saw?" It wasn't anything like that. I was just, okay.
That's Lucha in a nutshell.
Yeah, that's all I really have to say about it.
London debuted, right?
Yeah, the Rabbit Tribe finally showed up.
Yeah, technically he debuted. Yeah.
First impression.
It's kind of weird giving my first impression because it wasn't really my first impression since we already saw him at
Well, what's mine?
As a collective, the three of them, the group, Rabbit Tribe.
Yeah, I'm willing to see what they're gonna do. Right now, it's kind of just another weird Lucha Underground gimmick, which I'm not mad at. I think was it Scott or I think it was our friend Scott. He was like, "What the hell, Rabbit Tribe? This is stupid," or something like that in our group chat, and I was like. This is Lucha Underground, of course. All of it is fucking crazy and fucking weird and stupid.
And tribes.
And it works. So I'm willing to give this a shot, and especially, it's London, so I'm willing to see what he has to do.
That could be either a positive or negative on that aspect, just because it's London. I mean, I don't know. That's a whole other topic for another thing.
All right.
Yeah.
That's it for Lucha.
That's it for Lucha.
Let's
okay.
All right, let's go through NXT real quick.
Okay.
Who watched NXT?
Not me.
I did.
That goes back to my previous conversation.
Yeah. Was there anything meaningful in NXT? They take these matches before TakeOver in the same arena in Toronto.
Right. Yeah. Well, they've done that before on other takeovers. Yeah.
The only thing that caught my eye and then it just kind of dashed me was, this debut of this Hawaiian guy. Okay, cool. But then, I think it was Phillips or was it Corey? I don't know. One of the two said, well, this isn't the first time we've seen him.
Yeah, it's not.
What? I don't remember seeing him before. And I thought this was the debut. And I was like, okay, let's get some new blood in here. He's going to fight Rich Swann. And it's like, no.
He's 4 months old on the roster.
Is he? I don't remember seeing him at all.
He's jobbed out to, Ibushi. And Itami and somebody else,
Nakamura, all the Japanese guys. No, I don't know.
I'm laughing at you because before we started recording, he was like, "We're talking about things we can talk about in NXT," and he's like, "Oh, that chick debuted. The boxer chick debuted."
Oh, that too, yeah.
And I was like, "No, she didn't."
So the same thing?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
She's debuted. I've seen her twice already.
Well, my first impression of her was from the house show that they had in Houston earlier in the year, and she really got my attention. And not the physical part. Obviously, she's attractive, but that's
they all are.
Yeah, but that's a gimmick. That's number one.
It's different.
It's different, and number two, if cultivated properly enough, could be an interesting threat. Or Asuka food.
Asuka food.
Yeah, if you're gonna feed somebody to Asuka, at least have it be somebody that's credible.
Not only that, but it's a different fighting style altogether. If she's physically capable of and talented enough to have that gimmick go full circle with her fighting style.
Yeah.
If the fighting style matches the gimmick, it could be something. It could be something. I can see her on SmackDown.
A female Brock Lesnar that doesn't have any tampons and all pissed. Yeah, that's basically this chick. My biggest bone of contention with NXT is that we have a pre-sale tomorrow, which is Thursday, December 1st, general on sale Friday, December 2nd, and not one person on my Facebook feed or not one of our collective group that is going to the Royal Rumble that weekend is even remotely interested in going to NXT TakeOver.
I think you're overselling that there. I wouldn't say that nobody's remotely interested. There's a lot of people who are like, well, shit, if I could have planned this out a little bit better, I'd go. For example, me. If I'm already got that Monday off because I'm going to stay Sunday night, drive back Monday. So I have Monday off. Well, I can't go back and get the Saturday off, so it's like already fucking with my vacation. I'm sure there's other people that are like that too. It's like, well, if I wouldn't have known.
So you wouldn't have known from WrestleMania weekend. NXT TakeOver, WrestleMania.
It was still unconfirmed. It was like, okay, well, there's going to be
SummerSlam, TakeOver, Raw, SummerSlam.
He gets on a roll like that.
Survivor Series, right? That just happened, right? NXT TakeOver, Survivor Series, Raw.
Regardless,
Royal Rumble, duh.
Regardless, at the point.
Did I not call this when they first announced Royal Rumble was coming?
Yeah.
So,
do I have a medal that I can fucking give this guy?
I had chicken nuggets.
Here.
That's good enough.
There you go. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, if you're just, again, I think you're just overstating and oversimplifying and saying nobody's interested in going. What's that? Nobody's interested. There's people that are interested. It's just they couldn't fucking work it out.
Money-wise.
Tell us in the chat
too.
if you're interested.
Yes.
Not only that, but okay. Fucking Royal Rumble. That was one thing. We're like, okay, Royal Rumble,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
I'm
In
down for
In the
that.
Alamo Dome.
I'm down for
Yeah,
that.
let's do
And
it.
so I bought my tickets just like that.
Yeah.
And then a few weeks later, they're like, okay, and
NXT. Whoa.
Whoa, wait a minute.
I just spent money for this.
And then, oh, wait, hold on. Survivor Series, playa. That's
Next year.
Next year.
And the tickets go on sale next week.
Oof.
What? Next week, these tickets go on sale?
WWE, you're really making it hard on your Texas fans.
folk.
Yes, yes, really making it hard on Texans.
No, it's not even that, dude. It's
This month. Oh.
It's besides being weird, it's just they don't normally do that especially for Survivor Series. WrestleMania maybe, but even WrestleMania don't go on sale till like September for the following year.
Yeah.
So why all of a sudden
One year.
Not only that, you have Royal Rumble, NXT, Survivor Series, and then that's a whole weekend. That's Survivor Series, Raw, SmackDown, NXT.
Yeah, but all those tickets aren't going to go on sale anytime soon. It's just Survivor Series.
They were announced, but yeah, the tickets aren't on sale yet.
Okay, well, at least that's something.
Hopefully the NXT TakeOver won't catch you by surprise this time.
Well, that's true. no, that's very true. They
But
won't.
my point is, it's just like all at once. And not only that, ROH tickets, they're going on sale like this week.
And you remember we had this conversation on last week's episode. The thought wasn't even in my radar that we still have Monday Night Raw at the AT&T Center the night after Royal Rumble.
If you wanted to go, yeah.
Yeah, if we wanted to go. And I'm like, I'm still worried. I'm still thinking about TakeOver.
Right. Yeah.
Which is coming. Like the tickets are coming.
You gotta pay for it now.
Yeah, gotta pay for it now.
Fuck.
It's just so funny because it's like, there's some parts of the country that like are starving for them to come to their area, and over here we're like just like swamped and flooded with like pre-sale dates and
Too much wrestling.
Go away, leave us alone.
In the chat,
and they were whispering, "Ring of Honor, come over."
Yeah. In the chat, Hector saying that he's thinking about buying into all the Survivor Series weekend.
I'm doing cheap seats for Survivor Series and at least because I have to have that. Otherwise, the weekend's a complete fail. You can't have the weekend if you're not going to Survivor Series. So I'm getting cheap seats for Survivor Series and TakeOver.
I'm the other way around. I'm thinking now I'm just going to get cheap seats either just for like SmackDown or TakeOver, and that's it whenever they go on sale later. Not now. Right now, oh, well, I guess I'm fucked. I'm not getting Survivor Series tickets.
And here's the weirdest thing. We give the Houston-based credit lately.
We do.
Lately for them being a good crowd.
The last time that they were here.
The last time I did say
and
that.
The pay-per-view.
We did.
Yeah.
However, even the pay-per-views, a lot of the fans that are watching at home don't realize that a lot of this shit's tapered off. Even on Raw. I can't remember the last time there was a complete pay-per-view sellout from the WWE in the Toyota Center. So there's not a guarantee that Survivor Series is going to be as big as WrestleMania and Royal Rumble that you have to make a weekend vacation, that all the English and all the Germans and all the Japanese and everybody from Australia are going to come make this a whole big hoopla. Shit, there could still be tickets like in February for this. The Royal Rumble, as much as we wanted to buy these tickets, dude, there's still easily 3-digit price range numbers.
If you want to pay that.
Yeah, just like WrestleMania. I checked that Monday when I was here watching with you. The cheapest seats are $160. There's still seats. This isn't like WrestleMania 30 when they were all gone in like a cup of coffee. But there's still there's no guarantee that just because they make this big announcement 1 year out, oh shit, you need to have this money for Survivor Series. There's no guarantee that maybe 4 weeks later, shit, we could still buy them with income tax money.
Well, I mean, I would hope so, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't hold my breath on that because we've been bitten by that bug
So that
before,
being
where
said,
it's like,
no.
oh, let's wait, and then we're fucked.
So that being said, Chris, what are you gonna do whenever those tickets go on sale.
What you gonna do, brother?
No. Are
Right
you gonna wait?
I already turned my back on WrestleMania. I'm not going. My priority right now is the weekend that's ahead of me, which is Royal Rumble. TakeOver, Royal Rumble. I'm not even worried about Raw. If I have to buy a cheap seat through StubHub for Survivor Series, I have a year to save up for that.
Okay.
No, you don't have a year to save up for it. You have until they fucking sell out. Which, if they're starting to sell it now, dude,
they're not.
They might be sold out by fucking, I don't know, January.
Yeah. I'll figure that out later.
What's the priority, Royal Rumble or Survivor Series? For me, it's Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Well, because
So
we already have the tickets.
Well, besides that, if I didn't, you know.
So not to mention, you didn't realize this. You just threw it out to your wife earlier. It's like, hey, Nancy, do you want to go to TakeOver the night before Royal Rumble? And what'd she say?
Sure.
One word answer.
Floored all of us.
Yes. Like, whoa, okay.
I was like,
All right.
shit, now I gotta buy some tickets.
Ching, ching, bling, bling, dollar, dollar.
And that's our NXT talk.
Yeah. That's funny because it's like, again, going back to NXT, it's like the shows haven't really mattered. It's just the takeovers that matter. It's the takeovers are the only thing that people give a shit about. You know, I even said this last week, or 2 weeks ago. It was like, man, TakeOver was great, and it reminded me why we always get hyped for takeovers. But this week, I don't give a shit about what happened on Wednesday. You know, I don't care.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, then this upcoming tapings of NXT that are happening right now are record. They actually taped them before SmackDown happened in Ottawa. So they're in a 13,000 seat arena.
Okay.
For this next episode that we're going to be watching on television.
Okay.
And as we also speak
That
right
still
now,
won't
they're
matter if the
recording
booking
tapings
sucks.
later.
I mean, are you really going to care if they bring out some other guy who's actually debuted before, but we didn't know who the fuck he was, and he's just repackaged for the third time?
No, I would rather see Shinsuke Nakamura or Samoa Joe in a 15,000 seat arena than I would in front of the Full Sail fucks.
Yes.
Okay, true. But what if you don't get Shinsuke Nakamura versus Samoa Joe?
Regardless, when I press play on that button and I see an arena 15,000 strong, my optimism's already going to be up. It's not going to be down here where I'm trying to claw my way up.
Okay.
And that's the one complaint I know I've had, and I think we all agree on it. Every takeover post NXT show after takeover, where's the goddamn champion?
Yeah,
he's there. They never have the champion on the show right after the takeover. That's the biggest mistake I can ever think of and they haven't fixed it.
And they haven't, because if they tape the following episode of the takeover before takeover even happens, you get 2 separate montages of everything that happened throughout that entire fucking paper.
There's always so many unanswered questions that come out of a takeover. For example, what you just said, also here in the chat, Hector said, hey, is Mickie James a one-shot or was she permanent? I don't know. I don't know at all. I have no idea.
If I had a guess, it's a one-shot.
That'd be my guess, but who knows? Maybe 3 weeks from now, it's like, hey, remember Mickie James? She fought, and here she is. Oh, okay. Playing it off like she's been there.
She may have gotten the bug and wanted to come back now. Like maybe being in an arena with actual people.
I mean, they showed that thing with her afterwards where she was backstage and talking about how she didn't shake her hand and she got pissed off about it or whatever. So it's like
there's
vengeance.
There's potential there for a continuation.
Yeah.
205.
The premiere of 205 Live.
Yeah,
happened last night.
I got something to say about this.
Oh, okay. Did you watch it?
I'm gonna get to that.
Okay. Well, hold on. Did you watch it?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
I watched the whole thing. Okay, go for it.
Okay, so I'm done watching SmackDown, and then maybe 5 or 10 minutes later, I get a message from Chris. Said something about, Aries is on commentary. And I was like, oh, shit, I forgot about 205 Live. So
I don't know how you forgot about it if you were watching SmackDown. They were doing a commercial every, 2 or 3 breaks.
Fast forward, man. Okay, so I flip it on the network, and I turn it on, and I start from the beginning, and I watch it, and it's okay. I get the intro, and and I love the opening shot of everybody on the ramp, and they're kind of introducing
lineup.
I love that. And then it cuts to the first match. No disrespect to the competitors, but the Bollywood boys and Nice and Gulak. For me personally, not the best way of starting the show.
I agree.
Okay.
The last thing you see on the opening theme, it says "Don't blink."
Mm-hmm.
That's the last words you see right before it flashes and everything.
Yeah.
It's like a catchphrase, like a motto.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna miss it, whatever. I saw so many rest holds in that match and so many safe spots and this and that. It wasn't like a typical fast-paced cruiserweight match. And the Bollywood Boys, I'm sorry to say, maybe it works in a full scale audience or maybe in a smaller scale, but in a bigger audience, I don't see it getting over. Same thing with most of these cruiserweight guys, honestly. And I say that I'm not getting interested in this match. My wife comes in, she's like, what is this joke? So I just couldn't finish watching it. And then I know later on there's like 2 more matches and there was a really good title match in there. But from that, the debut premiere episode, show me what you got. I took it as this was a poorly made direct-to-video sequel of a blockbuster movie. That be the blockbuster, the blockbuster being Cruiserweight Classic.
The fan shots again, the continuation of the horrible editing that we're gonna get to later on in the show. But yeah,
and one last thing I want to say about this. With what I saw from the opening, like I said on the intros and them explaining who everybody is, I no longer want to see any of these guys on Raw or SmackDown. I want them to have their own show here, confined to this show.
Well, that's not going to happen because they've already said that they're on Raw. They're on Raw, and they also have their own show. So they're not going to not be on.
Doesn't mean I have to give a shit about it. Okay. And I'm not, because it's so convoluted. The general audience does not give a shit about these cruiserweights. And it does not make any sense. It does not make any sense to have them on Raw and then the next night on 205.
The only defense I'll give that argument is that even up until the main event that I fell asleep on, I was very surprised of how open that audience in North Carolina was to this show. Eventually, the Bollywood Boys got over on that crowd.
Not from
I heard reactions. Like they both came in. They came out as crickets, both of them. The Nice and Gulak had the jobber entrance, and the Bollywood Boys came out to crickets. By the time the match was over, they got a reaction. It was not a dead reaction, but it wasn't like crowd deafening John Cena. But they got a reaction, and fans were starting to dance.
I didn't hear a reaction. Maybe there were.
I saw the horrible shots of them trying to catch them trying to dance all ugly and shit. But they slowly got over.
A few people maybe, agree, but not.
No, I think I agree with Chris. Yeah, they came out to crickets. They probably weren't the best opener.
They weren't the best opener.
Yeah,
but we could all agree on that.
They could have picked something else to just bam hit people in the face and be like, "This is our best shit" right from the jump.
Metallic or Tozawa or somebody like that.
They could have done something like that. Not debuting was basically a new team, because we saw them individually. We didn't see them as a team in the Cruiserweight Classic. So even if you want to say that there's carryover from the Cruiserweight Classic, which I think is a weak argument to make, but even if you were to make that argument, they weren't in there as a team. Yeah. So they should have saved that for the middle of the show. Now, I did actually like them though. Oh, I like them. I did. Just putting the rest of that aside, like if this was in the middle of SmackDown between hour 2, whatever was the main event on hour 2 and like the rest, I would have been like, okay, cool. They did all right. Whatever. I'm giving them a shot. So I'm not going to just poo-poo on them. And I also think that there might be a chance for marketability with the Bollywood Boys, but that's all I'm going to say there about them. What I really wanted to say, and I don't know if this is where you're going.
Because I know I feel like you're transferring over, and I know where you're going.
Okay.
I think for the Bollywood Boys this week, I would give them a pass because I think that was just nerves. I don't think the Bollywood Boys were expecting to wrestle in front of an audience that big, and they looked nervous. They looked a lot more comfortable than Full Sail in a room smaller where they can hear every single person and do their gimmick, and everybody in the room knew their gimmick. They looked a little rough around the edges.
So what you're saying is they're not ready.
To an extent, yeah. But
again,
as far as
which means they shouldn't have been on
the start. They shouldn't have been on the start. We can all agree.
As far as guys that weren't getting over, that you said nobody was getting over, he is about to gush about somebody. I feel it. The floor is yours, Gallagher.
Well, no, that's not where I was going. Actually, I was. This is why you don't interrupt me, bitch. No, I don't know. You can interrupt me.
So what we were saying was
Aries, on the other hand, I kind of liked him when he was first there, and I was like, hell yeah, we're gonna get Aries, and then he lost me.
Yes.
Ow! But then he brought me back. he lost me when he was trying to be way too much of the fucking heel. When he was out healing fucking Corey Graves. When Corey Graves was the one who had to start like lightening up the mood, you know, and like dude, quit shitting all over everything, you know.
That's another thing we need to talk about.
Yeah, like Aries was trying to be the cocky, arrogant heel too much. He wasn't giving anybody credit. He was shitting all over everyone. And then that's okay. Once Gallagher came out, Corey was like, "Yeah, I love this guy. He's great. Whatever." Da, da, da.
That's something a heelish commentator would say.
Right, and then Aries didn't want to give him the time of day. Didn't want to tell him anything. But then he started to loosen up. I don't know if somebody was in his ear or he kind of finally got the cues from Corey. It's like, hey, quit being a dick. We're supposed to be putting all these guys over. Yes, be a heel, but don't shit all over them and kind of follow Corey's lead. Maybe that's what it was. Then he started like finding a groove. By the end of the show, I was okay with them. But right there, the beginning-ish of the show, I was like, ooh, yeah, you're a heel, but you got to put over other stuff to, you know.
You wanted some lube on him. He's going too rough.
I didn't. From what I saw, I didn't catch that from Aries. I will say, first of all, I think I mentioned this in our chat that I think 205 Live is going to be the closest that we're going to get to a live NXT show.
Okay.
We already have Corey Graves, Austin Aries.
Austin Aries, who's made it clear that he wants to be the Cruiserweight champion.
He made it clear on commentary that night, which was nice. I liked it.
You don't think that's a downgrade? You don't think a guy like Austin Aries could be a good mid-card guy on either brand?
Yes, but I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing. Because
does that mean he's not on NXT anymore? He's a Cruiserweight?
I don't know.
That's part of the NXT's problem.
That's part of the convolution problem that you were talking about earlier. I don't know.
Well, because his feud's injured. Itami.
Yeah.
Unless they're adding Itami to this division also when he gets healed.
I don't know. They need to fucking put them all on a scale.
And again, I think this is why it should be its own thing and not go with NXT or Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah. Okay.
You were a big fan of Gallagher during the tournament.
Yes. And when he came out and had that match last night, I liked it. I felt like it was a carbon copy of his match with Tozawa.
So
I felt like it was the same thing, and I kind of have a little bit of that same reaction, like so. But I didn't feel like I wasn't pumped about it. I was pumped that I saw Gallagher on my TV, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, that's cool." But like, I wasn't pumped from anything that happened in the match. Does that make sense? Like, I was glad to see it. Yeah, I was glad to see him. I wasn't glad to see the match. Does that make sense?
I was glad to see what we got because there are two people that are good at their character. You know, it's easy for us to gush about Zach Gallagher because his theme music and he has he's a gentleman and he stands straight and he does all these odd moves. Right. But you put him up against a very easily hateable heel, Daivari from another country that it's easy to crap on because it's that's kind of the way it's presented. Right. And then back and forth. I liked it a lot. And apparently I wasn't the only one because you can tell, again, a lot more audibly than the opening match. Yeah. The crowd was coming along to this.
I mean, the first match was here, that match was here, and then, we'll get to the next one.
And it slowly started climbing. When you got to that point where he tied him up in the human knot, and then Gallagher stepped back to, like, kick him in the butt, the fans knew. Everybody's like, oh, gotcha, bitch.
Kicking the ass.
Got him. Yeah. If I had to choose, that match should have opened knowing that that if it was going to be character driven, it would have gotten the fans over. Yeah. If you set the bar not high, but if you set the bar to the medium and hold it by the time you get to the main event, then you've pretty much done your job.
Okay.
You know, and that's why it would have been safer to have the same match that you already saw as opposed to have it start up here and then have the Bollywood boys bring it down. And then depending on who you are a fan of or if you like the main event, struggling to either meet the opening or fall flat. So I love that match.
Okay.
As far as the show, that might have been my match of the show.
Really?
Entertainment wise.
Okay.
And that goes back to my other issue because before you speak about the main event, I think Travis already made it clear he didn't watch the main event.
No.
Did you watch the Gallagher match?
I had a chance to
earlier. And you chose to watch Lucha.
And I chose to watch Lucha because I'm standing by my guns on that. Like you had me, I was watching your show. you cannot sustain my interest for a match. So I'm done.
And I'm gonna follow that. What's the biggest problem that we have on Raw?
It's 3 hours. Fuck.
And so what happened Tuesday? I used my phone as a hotspot so I can watch a stream of SmackDown. So I had no fast forward juice. Now I was watching that live from beginning to end. And then after that, I turned off the web browser and turned on the network and saw 205 live. 3 hours.
3 hours.
Unedited, unfast forwarded.
Yep.
And it got to the point where I fell asleep before the main event. So this is going to be
literally fell asleep.
I was watching this on my laptop, and to get the Wi-Fi, I was literally laying in bed.
Again, not because you were completely bored, but because you tend to fall asleep and you have a lot of hours that you put in at work, and you got all that shit to do.
Yeah,
3
hours, whether it's a Monday, Tuesday, Sunday, it's fucking a lot.
Yeah,
and it wouldn't shock me if WWE has such a great relationship with Universal, number one, and the fact that you're going to end the show with a brawl between AJ and Dean, yet you're still going to have the fans stick around for another hour of television. It makes no bloody sense to me. It wouldn't shock me within the next 6 weeks to 2 months, because WWE can do it, that they're going to have 205 live from 7 to 8, and we're going to have SmackDown end at the same time that Raw ends at night.
There you go.
So we're having it 8 to 10 and then Raw 7 to 10. That way you end the show with your main eventers. No disrespect to the talent, but you are not ending the fans' night with cruiserweights. You're ending the fans' night with AJ Styles, Dean Ambrose, the Wyatt family, American Alphas. Not even if the match was great, you're not ending it with Rich Swann versus Brian Kendrick.
Right.
I'm gonna be at SmackDown Live this Tuesday after TLC. I would like to end my night with AJ versus Dean, not with the Bollywood Boys in an 8-man tag with the rest of the roster.
Right.
So the floor is yours. Main event, title match.
That being said, title match, Rich Swann versus the Brian Kendrick might be my match of the week pick.
Really?
That may have been my pick.
Better than the other 2 matches they've had.
Yes. And I'm very hesitant to say that because I know that I shouldn't think that because of how shitty the rest of the show was. The fact that it was after all this other stuff. The fact that I want to save a whole lot of loving for Charlotte and Sasha. The fact that I gushed so much over Fox and Killshot, and I thought that wasn't going to be dethroned all week. The fact that this was a match that the reason why I liked it so much is because I forgot I was watching WWE. I thought I was watching ROH or like a really good X Division match or something from New Japan with the sick ass finisher after sick ass finisher, kick out here, kick out there. Like, oh, this match should have ended 5 times already, and it didn't. And I know that's a complaint that we have sometimes. And I knew that you were gonna, if you watched the match, you were gonna thumb your nose at it because of that. But I loved it. Yeah, you're just gonna whatever.
You're gonna get freaky with that right nostril. Yeah, baby.
But I thought it was different. To the point where when we see guys in the indies, when we see Steen versus Generico, man, that should be badass in WWE. And we have Steen and Generico in WWE, and they've had matches, but it's not Ladder Wars 3. Their matches that they've had have been WWE versions. You know, AJ Styles isn't the AJ Styles from TNA 2006, 2007. The AJ Styles we have now, he's good. He's awesome. I'm glad he's on our TV.
He's a 10th of what we know he can do.
Exactly. Same with Daniel Bryan. Danielson versus McGuinness. Holy shit. Danielson versus McGuinness in London. It was a fucking bloody mess, and it was awesome. But, Brian, he toned it down a little. When we tried to tone it back up, WWE's like, well, hold on. And we got like a quarter of what he was. Here in this particular match, I felt like, fuck, man, these two really went at it. They like, you want to talk about what should have started the show to show, boom, this is what we had to offer, and it's the best thing. That should have been the opener. I don't care what else you put after it. Yeah, lose everyone else's interest. Fuck, why not? Because that match was fucking great. And I know that we've been kind of like not liking Kendrick because he's not a cruiserweight. He kind of has this style that's not this cruiserweight X Division, whatever flippy dippy stuff. I really liked what he did in that match where he was focusing and targeting on his neck, on Rich Swann's neck. And when he did the neck breaker across the steel connecting the turnbuckle and the post, oh my God, I thought that was the end of it. And I really thought that he could have hurt him, and it looked vicious, and it was creative, and it was different, not something I ever seen before. And the fact that Swann persevered and went through it, and it took 3 of his fucking heel kicks, which I guess is his finisher now, his spinning heel kicks, to actually get him down and win it. And it was great. I really liked it. And I know just from the way I was describing it, Travis is already going to shit all over it if you watch it. So I'm probably going to be alone in saying that this is my match of the week. But dude, I have a hard time getting over it. Like, if we want to sit here and say anything about Bullet Club and, oh man, it's a super kick fest, whatever, it fucking sucks. But then in the same breath say, oh man, I love to see the fucking, the Young Bucks super kick. Like, I love it. Well, that's what that was. It was like a crazy, insane 100 RPMs spot fest. But it was a good spot fest, but still told a story with the whole thing with the neck and focusing this and that. And dude, it had a little bit of everything for me.
If we were to do, sorry, Ted, if we were to do a thumbs up, thumbs down regarding the debut of 205, what would it be?
Oh, I've already told you mine.
And that's weird because he's thumbs down because you stopped after the first match. Right. You're in the middle. You stopped after the second match. I'm up because I watched it all the way.
Okay.
That match saved it for me.
I could go back and forth with that for a long time, but I'm not because we're running out of time. So
yeah, thank you. Raw, right off the top, highlight reel: Owens, Jericho, and then Roman.
I don't want to talk about this.
Okay,
let's just talk about what's everybody talking about from Raw.
Fine, straight to the top. The second women's title match.
First time ever Falls Count Anywhere for the women's title main eventing Raw.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even when we were watching it on Monday, I wasn't even thinking about all that kind of stuff. I was just watching the match, and at first I was kind of turned off about it because, oh God, it's Sasha and Charlotte again, and that was the second time in the show because
that night, yeah,
because the first time it was a big schmoz and Mick Foley came out and he made that match what it was. But after the match kept going on and going on, it was escalating. It had a nice escalation to the whole match. Last week, the main event of Owens and Rollins, I said something about that match that I'm gonna follow through in this one too. Was there was elements of that match that made me feel like it was like I was watching Attitude Era matches.
Okay,
yep. This followed through with that, with the same idea of a main event match. Let them do what they need to do to have the match, and then of course the stipulation was Falls Count Anywhere. But the fact is, it did go outside. It did go through everything, and it didn't get too crazy. But there was elements that were hardcore, but there were elements of a wrestling match too. Like I think the first 5 minutes, 10 minutes, they were just in the match, and then it wasn't until they got to the outside
that they're like, "Oh hell no!"
Well, it was like, "Oh yeah, this Falls Count Anywhere," and she tried to pin her on the mat, and then that's when she pulled the single point game.
The reason why I liked it so much, just like we said last week, we fast forwarded through most of the Kevin Owens, the Owens Rollins match, but what we started on was where it picked up.
Right.
It felt to me that the fluff that we fast forwarded through last week was the first match that got thrown out.
Yeah.
So as soon as this rematch started, I was already hooked. The story was good, and I was a fan, and I stayed awake through it.
Well, here's another thing. Like when Sasha came out, what'd she do? She took her thing off. She took her knuckle thing off. She took her vest off. She walked right to the ring, and she's ready to go. I was like, that's intensity.
Yes.
That is the one thing that's been missing from Raw.
This has been the 5th match in this rivalry. They need to stop posing and having the button stuck on X.
She did one pose in the ring, and that was it. But that was before the match started, and she just had but the match got going.
Focus.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I agree. This match was between. Okay, I had 3 matches that were match of the week contenders. The Lucha, the Cruiserweights, and this one. I agree with you on everything with this match. there aren't really a whole lot of faults for me to pick out of this one. I fucking love this match. I love the fact that it was intense, that it was a nice build off or blow off to a build of a storyline within Raw itself. Like, that was really cool. Go ahead.
When the end of the match, normally when endings like this happen, where it's kind of like out of nowhere, it feels anticlimactic.
Yeah.
But in this particular case, it made sense. They're outside, they're in the crowd. She put her through the railing, and she reached back and as a submission hold, and she tapped. And I was like, oh shit, okay. But I was okay with it because looking at the position that she was in, and even the replay of it, she was arched back quite a bit, and it made sense. So yeah.
Actually, it's funny that you bring that up, because that was the one nit that I was going to pick, and that was the one thing that tipped the scales in the favor of Swan and Kendrick. It was the end, and here's why. Yes, it was sick the way she was bent underneath that rail, but I didn't get it initially when it first happens. Like, okay, she's pulling her back. Oh, that looks nasty. Wait, tap? What? That's it? And to me, it was a little anticlimactic because it didn't snap to me that, oh, that's the bank statement that she has
on the railing.
It wasn't until they showed like the second replay that I think it was Corey said, oh, she put the bank statement on her. I was like, oh, because to me, in my mind, when I saw it, it's just, oh, she's just pulling her back.
Like the walls of Jericho looks ugly when he's doing it during a Money in the Bank ladder match on top of the ladder, and you don't get it at first.
Right.
Yeah.
Until somebody explains it. Hey, dummy. The walls of Jericho.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got that too.
Even then, with the walls, like, I knew it was the walls, even though it looked funky.
Because this grabbed the leg.
This, I thought it was just her pulling her back across the rope, which was still.
Here's the thing. That sold it for me, regardless of if we got the fact that it was a bank statement or not. Whenever she wrenched back like that, even not knowing that she was going to tap out, this is where the crowd actually helped, because when she wrenched back,
they were like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, they're like, "Oh!" I mean, you could hear a reaction from the audience that was right there, was seeing it live.
That one black dude that was sitting right there,
he didn't know what to do. He was. I was like, "What do I do? What do I do?"
That one black dude was like, "Don't get a boner. Don't get a boner. Don't get a boner."
I needed a adult. I needed an adult.
Stranger danger.
Oh man. But what another point that I want to bring up about this match I really loved about it is that this is the first time that the girls going on last was normalcy. It wasn't them saying, "Oh my God, the women are in the main event. Oh, check it out."
And that's why I almost forgot about it. Like, I didn't even think about it like that.
This is the point where they're really fighting to get to. They weren't fighting to get to, oh, let's give you all this adulation.
Let's give you Hell in a Cell for the first time.
No. Oh, them fawning over the fact that they are in the main event.
It was just part of the show.
We're in the main event. Yeah. And it ain't no big deal because we're that badass that we're normally in the main event. That is the real milestone.
It helps that there's not 45 different people on commentary telling us that this is a big deal, that this is the women's revolution, that this is supposed to happen, therefore it has to happen.
They made it a big deal in the ring. Well, technically outside of the ring.
This feels organic
in the
now.
match.
Yes, there you go.
It feels organic.
It felt organic for the first time. And I don't know, Professor, maybe you could help me out with this with history. Is this the first time that we've had so many African-American champions? We got Rich Swann, we got Sasha Banks, and the New Day.
I'm just going to say yes.
Is this the first time that we've had an African-American cruiserweight champion?
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, including WCW and everything.
Did Norman Smiley ever hold the cruiserweight?
Smiley or Cat Miller? Did he
Ernest Miller? Not cruiserweight. I think he was United States champion.
Okay.
So but right now, like as a collective, it's not just one person holding it for a cup of coffee. It's several people on main television holding it. Yeah.
Well, Rich Swann's to be determined.
Yeah. And Sasha, the next pay-per-view, she's really.
That's my one issue. No, seriously.
Okay, let's talk about that.
That's my one issue. I know Foley, I think it was Foley that said this is the last time they're going to fight. If that's the case, then I'm down with that. But God forbid if Sasha and Charlotte have a match on a pay-per-view, Charlotte's
your anticipation level's already going to be at zero.
Because Charlotte's going to win because they're these
Charlotte doesn't lose at the pay-per-view.
These predetermined streaks that they are insistent on doing.
Hey, did you realize Charlotte's undefeated on pay-per-view?
Yes. because they told me incessantly over and over.
Did you know that New Day is about 17 days away
from breaking Demolition's record? Yes, I know this.
Yeah.
I've been told this over and over.
Dude, I bitched a lot last week about the way they retained the belts from
Bullet Club.
Yeah, from last week. This week,
no, it was from Sheamus and Cesaro. This last episode was Bullet Club,
and I'm not as pissed off about this one as it was because last week or whatever the week before this, it was blatant heel tactics for them to retaining. This week, the end of the match, not so worried about because
it was tit for tat. Yeah.
My bigger issue,
pull the tights.
My bigger issue is the fact that even before the match goes on, New Day gets on the mic and gloats about how dominant they are and how they can't be stopped. Why are they faces? I don't understand. Explain it to me. Is it because they have catchphrases? Is that the only reason they have cereal? Why are they faces? Why do people cheer for them? I have no idea.
Would you rather have NFL coach speak? Well, we gave 110%. Both teams out there try, and we're going out there. We're going to practice, and we're going to try really hard. Is that what you'd rather have?
I want them to do what someone was on commentary, and they said it themselves. They said Muhammad Ali. He said, "Don't win about the." He said something about not gloating about the win.
Don't worry about how long you've had the belt. Make every day count.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was like, and I said right there, I was like, there you go. They're faces. They're not supposed to do that. They're supposed to make every day count. They're not supposed to do it the other way around.
Don't count every day. Make every day count. That's
And that's what heels do.
Yeah.
Heels, they gloat about it. They talk about it. And you're not supposed to talk about it. You're supposed to do it.
Okay.
And I don't know. It's getting to the point where I can tell you right now, the next Raw after the streak, they beat the streak, whatever, or the Raiders, They're losing it. And it's so sad that is that.
You don't think that they're going to lose it right before?
I hope they do.
Okay.
I hope they do. That'll be my match of the week if they do.
Followed by immediate. Do you have something to add?
Followed by immediate
to this.
To that, no. Do you?
Well, I have comments from.
Go.
Okay. First off, Alex Martinez. I don't believe I've seen him in the chat before.
Hi,
so
Alex.
welcome, Alex. He says the cruiserweights have been just a big fail.
Wow!
The whole division.
I like this guy already. I like this guy.
You're
white, aren't you?
Well, it says Martinez. So. He's one of you.
He's one of you.
Right.
Baldo.
Don't insult the man.
and then he also goes on to say, in my opinion, Sasha and Charlotte have been the best thing going for WWE.
Raw.
For
Raw. Yeah.
It's the most highlighted. It's the most profiled.
It was the best thing this past week.
Yes.
Definitely.
I beg to differ because one of my biggest
He said he's Cuban. Dick.
He's Cuban, B. Tell me who got that reference. Please tell me someone got that reference. Okay. All right.
I beg to differ because one of my biggest complaints out of Survivor Series, and I'll even say it again, was the shit show of the main event. Paul Heyman gave me what I needed for me to continue to give a shit about Brock Lesnar. That was the biggest highlight for me of the week.
That was Paul being Paul 100%.
Dude, the visual right off the top. If that television was 40, we probably would have smelled the stank. Because I'm sure that dude hasn't showered. He hasn't combed his hair. He hadn't shaved because you could obviously see the stubble.
The little gray stubblies.
He had a red eye like he was cutting onions for an hour and a half before they videotaped him.
This looked like Paul Heyman from ECW right before they closed.
Yes.
With the headphones, the trench coat. Yeah.
I knew the story. I knew the story before Paul Heyman even opened his fucking mouth. So already, before the first word was spoken, I was like, I already like where this is going.
He put his phone down in there.
Yeah, exactly. I'm over here trying to bust up level 360 on Futurama because I've left your punk ass way behind.
I'm like, so like.
And as soon as I saw Paul Scruffy Heyman, I was like, done. I'm putting this down. I need to watch this. And by the end of the promo, I'm like, yeah, both of us, dude. He was crying. He was wiping away tears. He was sniffling like he had the worst cold ever. And he was like, dude, a determined Brock Lesnar. What the fuck are you gonna do with a determined Brock Lesnar?
How scary
Look at all the
How
shit that he's already done now.
Yeah.
And now that he has focus, what you gonna do, bitch? Got me.
You're gonna die.
You're gonna die. Me. That's all I wanted, and that's what I said on the post show. I'm waiting for Heyman, the guy that can sell condoms to nuns, to win me back, motherfucker. That's exactly what he did.
I think I'm going to have a dissenting opinion.
Holy shit! Shocker! Go.
It feels like Heyman was trying to sell me twice in a lifetime after a year of saying, fuck that. It was once in a lifetime. And now you're trying to polish the turd of it being twice in a lifetime? Fuck you, Paul Heyman. That's how I felt.
But they never said this was once in a lifetime.
No, I know. But I'm drawing a comparison here. The whole we went on live on the dark match immediately following Survivor Series, and I asked you point blank, what if Heyman works his magic and he says something to make you change your mind? Can Heyman fix this?
And I said
you
no.
said no.
And then you said,
and then I said, well, I don't know, maybe.
no.
I'm not
the
sure.
words you said were, "Well, fuck you, Chris."
Yes, yeah. Fuck you, Chris. It was funny is that you influenced me, and I think I've influenced you because we flip flopped. I'm, you know what?
So now I'm the one fucking you.
Fuck you.
Bend over.
Ooh. I'm like, dude.
He's already working his arm so that I can make room.
If you knew that this was going to lead to something where we were going to have Goldberg around, Goldberg is still going to be in the Royal Rumble, Lester's going to be in the Rumble, they're going to do a thing, and then this and that. Why say you're last? Why? That is their once-in-a-lifetime moment for me. Goldberg saying, you're not next, you're last.
Well, that was before the
that's
offer.
my once.
Right.
That. But see, again, that's my once in a lifetime moment. When you got to twice in a lifetime, it's like, oh well, that was the moment when they changed it.
Here's the part that you're missing.
Okay,
Goldberg, the night after the Survivor Series, is not out to get a rematch with Lesnar. He's out to get a title run.
Yeah.
I think what you're confusing is that
he was also saying that he was going to go away. That he was done. He was retired.
Yeah, that was before the promo on Raw.
They explained
Okay. And now, what I got from the Heyman promo wasn't that Brock Lesnar was wanting his revenge on Goldberg. I know he said that at the end, but that's not what I took away from it. What I took away from is an out-of-control hurricane now has control, and you're going to stick that hurricane in the ring with 29 other motherfuckers, which Goldberg is one of.
Right.
That's what I took away from this. If they build up to an eventual Lesnar-Goldberg rematch, that's one thing. Hell, if WWE is ballsy enough to actually put Goldberg in a co-main event for the Universal title, at this point, I wouldn't mind it either because it's the fucking Universal title.
Yeah, that's not even a joke. That's
that's
legit.
Right.
That's legit.
So that's not what I took from that promo. I know that might have been what you took, but that's not what I took. I'm waiting to see Lesnar kill people at the Royal Rumble.
That's what I got out of it.
Trav, how do you feel about this? Who's more ridiculous on this, me or him?
You.
Okay.
So,
now I bet that's a biased answer.
I know. Does that mean that when we sat right there and we recorded the dark match right after Survivor Series that we were wrong? Are we willing to admit that we were wrong?
Yeah. I'll admit it.
Yeah. Okay, fine.
I'm not perfect.
All right.
But yeah, it's I one not nit or anything about what you just said, but like how can I put this? Like you said that you don't think that's going towards him wanting to go against Goldberg.
They didn't make it obvious that we're getting the rematch at WrestleMania.
To me, they kind of did. Well, because here's the thing. He's basically saying, well, if Goldberg's going to be in the Rumble, Lesnar's going to be in the Rumble. And it's going to be him, Lesnar. I mean, it's going to be him, Goldberg, and 28 other losers.
28 victims and Goldberg.
Yeah. So I
think
it
he
as
says 28 losers and one victim.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. So that's why I'm taking it as Goldberg isn't looking at Lesnar. Like Goldberg's is looking at a title shot because Stephanie brought it to him. Yeah. So, I love this aspect. Like the face, he beat him. He moved on. He's gonna sure. You want to give me a title shot? Sure, I'll go in the Rumble. Fuck yeah, okay,
why not?
And then Lesnar, the defeated
the bully.
Yeah, he's like, no, I'm not done with you. No, I never got my I didn't get to right that wrong. I'm still got to do that, damn it. And now it's like an itch he's got to scratch, and now he's got to go into the Rumble.
One more on your point.
Yeah.
The one thing that I like the most about this promo, even if the end game is Lesnar Goldberg, they are still making this Royal Rumble important. I hate when matches are like, hey, Main event for next year's WrestleMania. Okay, none of the shit we're watching matters until twice in a lifetime next WrestleMania. Right. No, they made sure that the Royal Rumble is important because that's the next big event.
And now it matters. Like,
and now because I'm already getting goosebumps.
Look, because normally when it comes time to Royal Rumble, what do they do? It's just the big promo, the production, the production thing. With
the history of all the Rumble.
Yeah. They don't really focus on what's going on into the Royal Rumble match itself. This year, we're going to have
the feuds leading into
exactly.
Yeah.
Go back to Royal Rumble 98, 99 with Stone Cold going in there.
And as soon as his music hit, everybody stopped and looked for him.
1998. Yeah. That was everybody versus Austin.
And was that also when Austin just like eliminated everybody was sitting on the turnbuckle just waiting? And
no, that was 97.
No, that's right.
That was 97
at
the Alamo.
But he did that also in 92. It wasn't the shot that you're thinking of.
Once Bret Hart's music hit, he was like,
oh, here we go. He started growling it like he wanted it.
All right. I know this is early to be doing Rumble predictions, but predictions are running wild in the chat. So I kind of want to bring some of this stuff up. First off, welcome in Ryan, and welcome in Bull City Pro. Nice to see old faces coming back around here.
Somebody named their kid Bull City Pro.
All right, this is what Ryan says. Excuse me. No, this was Hector. Hector chimed in first. I see Goldberg winning the Rumble, facing Lesnar at Mania. All right. Then Ryan goes, Brock is number 1, Goldberg is number 30, and Brock wins the Royal Rumble. That's interesting. And then we have Bull City Pro going in there and saying, I think Lesnar and Goldberg is going to cancel each other out, but they will make it to Mania and face each other.
That's my initial. Remember after
that's what I thought.
That was my initial reaction. Was they're gonna collide? They're gonna collide at the Rumble. They're gonna eliminate each other, or someone's gonna flip them both over the top rope. And then that's going to set up their match at either the February pay-per-view or the WrestleMania.
Yeah, Mania itself. Yeah. And then, of course, there was more elaboration on here. Lesnar versus Goldberg doesn't need the title to be involved for the match to matter. I totally 100% agree. It doesn't need to be for the title.
I don't want it to be for the title, honestly.
Here's a prediction that might not have hit yet, but I told Travis, and it kind of had a sick feeling in my gut when it came out of my mouth. Lesnar wins the title, and we have the rematch. Lesnar versus Roman for the Universal title, because we never got a definitive finish out of that. Rollins came in and fucked it up for everybody.
Do you really want to see that?
If you're finally going to have somebody booing Lesnar, that'll be a better opportunity for you to try to get a face Roman out of this, as opposed to
no. You got people cheering for Lesnar anyway.
Yeah,
just not as much as they were before. He's been getting boos through this Goldberg feud.
Let them boo the shit out of Roman.
Yeah. No, Lesnar will be the face, and Roman will get booed out of that fucking building.
All right. Last thing I want to add on here.
Stadium.
Last thing I want to add on here. Alex chimed in as well. He said Brock's character is that he's the conqueror. He doesn't rest until he conquers Goldberg. That's basically going to be the story.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a lot of activity going on in the chat right there. Thanks,
last
guys.
thing for Raw, between the pub brawl and the parking lot brawl, Travis, what was your biggest complaint of both of those things?
Awkward Bush League.
Wait, what?
That barroom brawl, I'm using quotation marks on that, started out with potential. And I love what they did with the bonding of Sheamus and Cesaro.
I love that.
But my God, those camera angles of the people in the bar.
Did you
Bush League?
Tessa Blanchard was one of them.
Whatever. Bush League shit. Like, I didn't
realize there were so many independent wrestlers drinking the same bar while Raw was on.
It wasn't until
watching Raw.
No. It wasn't until those other camera shots came in where I realized how fake that whole set looked.
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna do that, go balls out like you did in the Attitude Era.
Tim White's bar.
APA, or even New Age Outlaws. I think they did it with
fucking Booker T and Steve Austin were in a fucking grocery store.
Didn't D'Lo and Mark Henry go down to the Ritz down over here?
Yes,
yes. They went to a strip club.
How difficult would that have been? Seriously, that looked shitty on TV, and I hope. And we don't get that anymore.
I thought Orton hunting down the Wyatts and the awkward camera angles in that scene.
I agree.
This was a worse attempt at trying to be Lucha Underground.
Oh.
Lucha Underground's productions are top notch to the point that You're not fucking with Robert Rodriguez's crew. Don't even bother. This is ECW. Accentuate the positive, hide the negative. The positive, the result of the bonding of Cesaro and Sheamus. Even the altercation afterwards where they jumped the rail and Cesaro even but went the extra mile to drink Sheamus's drink.
Yes, that was the most payoff moment right there.
The payoff was awesome. The investment and the way you laundered that money was fucking atrocious.
Wait, hold on a minute, please. You had a big issue with the last shot of that scene.
Yes, I agree. That is the most Bush League. I don't care too much about the camera angles, all the other shit and whatever. Once they threw the dude through the
wall, and you realize there was another bar.
Paper mache wall.
No, I'm not past all that. That goes in with the whole thing.
Oh, okay. That's where I had the biggest issue. Paper mache
Cesaro
wall.
did not drink.
Yes, you motherfucker! If you get a beer, you clank it on the table and at least sip it. Something. You are turning heel, my man.
He didn't drink it?
No, he did not.
You sure?
I am dead sure. Check the tape.
Yeah, check it. We're gonna blow out our microphone here.
It's already broken.
Poor listeners' ears. Wait, he did it?
No,
I thought he did.
He like did it. I mean, he kind of looked at it for a second, and
he didn't drink it.
So
he just
that nullified the entire bro moment for me. Cesaro's going to SmackDown. Sheamus is diddly up.
I didn't catch
End the story.
I thought he took a drink. No, okay, all right.
I bet every alcoholic fan that watched that show caught that shit.
Old pounded chick over here who bullshit.
Hey!
Oh, now
I never got that footage.
Wait.
I remember.
He said, "I told you WWE was going to copy Lucha."
That's it for Raw.
Okay,
right. SmackDown this Sunday, live from the American Airlines Center in Dallas. TLC pay-per-view happening. Man, let's just start from the top. Tables, ladders, and chairs. AJ Styles versus Dean Ambrose. Abel, what is your anticipation level and why?
8. I like Dean. I like Styles. I like the way that this whole storyline has come about. I like the stuff with Ellsworth. I like the fact that Ellsworth was taken out like pretty seriously storyline wise. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he's going to show up. If he's going to show up and accidentally hurt Derp cost Dean the match, or is he going to accidentally hurt Derp cost AJ the title, or if he's just not going to be involved at all. We finally have Dean versus AJ finally just going at it. It's going to be a ladder match. AJ Styles, I like him in ladder matches, obviously, from his time in TNA. He knows what the fuck he's doing, climbing stuff. Dean, I've seen a little bit stuff out of him from ladder matches in, no, not Shield, Money in the Bank. Mm-hmm. So I'm willing to give these guys a shot. And I've liked the build. I've liked it. I know the stuff with Ellsworth isn't everybody's cup of tea, but I've enjoyed it.
It's obviously not Travis's cup of tea, even though he has stated that he likes the chemistry between Styles and Ambrose. What's your anticipation level?
I'm torn on this because I want to say my anticipation for the match is about an 8. Mm-hmm. However, with what I know, my anticipation is about a 5.
What do you know?
From the buildup of this whole situation.
Mm-hmm.
What you just said is my fear
of Ellsworth
shenanigans, whatever, herp derp, whatever. Something's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen. Ellsworth is gonna cost AJ that fucking title.
Really?
Okay.
I am completely against y'all.
Okay.
I am sticking to my guns.
Wait, did you give your anticipation level?
No, 5.
No, not my prediction, but we haven't done prediction.
Not
yet. Yeah. What's your level? 10.
This is AJ Styles in his first TLC match in WWE. Regardless of story, my anticipation for the match is a 10.
That's why mine was an 8 on that.
I am actually thinking Ellsworth is going to purposely cost Ambrose the title, foreshadowing from the promo that even Ambrose is talking shit to Ellsworth, and Ellsworth is going to stand up to him.
Because he does have a title shot.
That's what's going to happen. And Ellsworth, he even stated he would rather fight AJ because he's beaten him twice.
Three times.
3 times compared to Ambrose's 0. So it would not shock me if Ellsworth costs Dean Ambrose the match. Regardless of how everybody feels of Ellsworth, you hate him to death as much as he hates Batista. You're loving him as much as you love Transformers. I don't give a shit. AJ Styles, TLC. Okay. I'm at a 10.
See, I want to be like that. I want to just enjoy the match, but I know in the back of my mind, this is going to end some kind of
little troll is going to go out there and ruin something for you.
Some bullshit's going to happen.
That's no chin, motherfucker. That's why I love this.
Technically, I will be there for that match. I'm at an 11. But for fairness' sake, I'm a complete 10.
Damn it. That means Monday you're going to come out all pissed off.
Well, I'm off Monday.
So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. What's your prediction?
My prediction
before you go to fans or anything.
I think that they're not going to do anything with Ellsworth in this. That's my prediction. If it happens, I'll probably be happy about it. But I think they're not going to do anything with Ellsworth. I also think that they're not going to give it to Dean. I think they're going to keep it on AJ. I think AJ's going to finally get his clean win, his receipt for losing 3 times to the no chin troll, and
the
finally
turtle.
The turtle without a shell.
Turtle power.
He's finally going to get his receipt for being embarrassed, made to look terrible throughout the last few months.
This is where I have issues with – no, not issues. I have concerns with booking on this. This happened on SmackDown whenever it was the Ambrose Asylum, and AJ came out, and he started talking about, you're just trying to make me look like a fool and this and that, and
he did.
That's my point. Once WWE gets in a rut of, oh, this is going to be fun, let's make fun of them, and they just roll into it, and I could see it. I could see them making a joke out of AJ.
That's why I love that AJ killed fucking Ellsworth on the stairs. I do love that clash.
Yeah, I want to make one point about this though, and then I want to get to a question from the fans here. The point I want to make about it is that the way that all this has been booked, it's been good for AJ, and here's why. He's not your stereotypical every fucking heel is the coward fucking heel in WWE. He's been the guy who's actually pretty competent, the guy who is being taken serious, who he has to be the one that has to have trickery played on in order to defeat him. Because really, he's a badass. If you don't have the trickery, if you don't have the shenanigans, if you don't have Ellsworth coming in and out or whatever, he's going to beat you because he's that damn good.
And he gets face reactions.
He's not the coward who's running away from his opposition, who's saying, oh, yeah, let's fight. Okay, fine, we'll fight, and then runs away. No, he said, you know what? You get on top of that ladder, you put your career on the line, and you know what? If you win, you get a title shot. Fuck you, Ellsworth. I'm going to beat you. And he put that on the line, put his money where his balls are, and he went into that match and he got embarrassed, but he got embarrassed through shenanigans, and he was made to look like, yeah, he was embarrassed, and I understand why he is embarrassed, but because he's the heel, people are like, ha ha, you're the heel, you're getting your comeuppance. So it's not getting sympathy on him, but he's also still being made to look competent, which is different from every other fucking heel.
He has AJ winning. I have AJ winning. What's your prediction?
I want AJ to win. So AJ is my prediction.
All right. Okay. Let me ask you guys this. This was sent.
Did you take a breath long enough?
Yes. This was sent from Hector, and it wasn't in the live chat. He actually sent this right before we started recording. He said, what brand has the best story feud that involves their main champion, Raw or SmackDown? Defend yourself. SmackDown. Even with you hating all this stuff with Ellsworth.
That's how because I at least respect the world title.
I would rather ask that question if it was AJ Dean or Sasha Charlotte, because that's the more established title on Raw than the fucking Universal title.
I can't take the Universal title seriously. To me, it's a mid-card
already title. Right off the top. Thank you. Right off the top, the Universal title is not my main title. If Rusev was still U.S. champion, that would still be my main title. Hell, Charlotte versus Sasha, the way they've been giving it the attention it deserves, to me. Today, that's the main title feud on Raw.
Wow.
Not this. Fuck it. I'm going to be on his main list. I don't give a fuck. It's the women. Put the women's title against AJ Dean. That's a good discussion. Fuck the Universal title in the ass with a spiked bat. That's it. Next match. Alexa Bliss versus Becky Lynch. Tables match for the women's title.
Okay.
Travis.
This is part of my issue with TLC in general. TLC is for me is like an equivalent of one of TNA's gimmick pay-per-views,
like Lockdown or something, where everything is the gimmick match
for no reason. Like for randomly, they're gonna bring a table into their little segment, and she gets pushed on the table, and Becky wants to have a tables match. What? Like earlier, also Kalisto, same thing. He just happened.
Alexa wanted a tables match, but I know.
Yeah.
And
then later on in the show, Kalisto used a chair, so they're gonna have a chairs match.
Yeah,
like, it's by numbers every year for TLC, and I can't stand that, man. At least, like, just have it as your main event. I can get that, but
yeah,
like I don't know, like
just like Elimination Chamber, not every fucking match is in a fucking chamber.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know, but anyway, what were you asking?
Anticipation for the match.
Becky versus Alexa.
And 6. I wasn't like their first match they had in Glasgow. Like I just didn't. It didn't blow me away. Like I don't know. Like, maybe they don't have the right chemistry yet or something.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
What about you, Abel?
I would be at a 9, but
you are at a.
But after Becky went ass first backwards through the table and it just looked not good, it took me down to about a 6. I'm afraid that these two, specifically Becky and Alexa, may not be ready to put on a table match. And table matches, as they said on Talking Smack later on in the evening, tables matches are easy to lose. We've seen this before. We saw Cody Rhodes, not dashing, not fucking Stardust. Cody Rhodes, bland gimmick Cody Rhodes, defeat the Big Show because the Big Show accidentally stepped through a table. Tables matches, they cannot be good, and I don't know if Becky's ass first fall through that table didn't give me any confidence in their abilities to put on a good tables match. So it's a little bit low for me. 6.
Your rebuttal fell deaf on my ears as soon as you used the words Becky's ass and not good in the same fucking sentence. So I don't give a flying fuck what you say for the next 5 minutes. This is my anticipation for the match is about a 6 because of the whole paint by number scheme. But this is a perfect way for Alexa to leave with the title and have a competent reason for Becky to be chasing her. This is the same way that John Cena lost the title to Sheamus.
That's true.
This is the same way that John Cena lost to Wade Barrett. These are great ways for heels to win matches and have a purpose for the feud to purpose for the feud to continue. That being said, my pick is Alexa Bliss to win the title. Give her a shot and see where it goes. Exactly. It's SmackDown. The heritage of SmackDown is you throw everything to the wall, and if it sticks, you nail it to the wall.
All right.
Travis, what's your prediction?
Alexa.
Okay.
Just for the reasons we've overall said it.
I think Becky's going to win it because Becky was the one who went through the table on Thursday. Law of reverse momentum.
I'm going with Alexa on this one.
Yeah.
How about a ladder match for the Intercontinental title? Apparently, this is the last in the feud. Ziggler versus The Miz. Abel, what's your anticipation level?
I'm going to go with about an 8. I wish that you guys watched Talking Smack. Talking Smack was a little different this week.
You're asking us for 3.5 hours of WWE television on a Tuesday.
I understand. And I understand that it's hard because it was hard for me as well. In fact, I did not watch it Tuesday. I watched it this morning. But I did watch it nonetheless. Talking Smack, again, was the saving grace for The Miz. Reason being, The Miz was not a guest on Talking Smack.
He was a host. Yeah, because Brian wasn't there.
Mike Mizanin was the host. He made a point to say, oh, I'm Mike Mizanin. And he made a point of the whole fucking night when they brought on Dolph Ziggler to interview Dolph Ziggler that you're not talking to The Miz, you're talking to Mike. And Renee and Ziggler were having none of it. Like, oh, no, you're The Miz. You're going to win because you're going to have your wife win. It's like, well, The Miz's wife is very lovely. And it was kind of stupid and hokey and funny, but at the same time, it got heated. And it built it for me. It put it back on the pedestal. When Mike was on there saying that this match should end the show the same way how it should have ended the show at the last pay-per-view. We stole the show, and we are going to put on the best match of the night because I'm that good. Ziggler knows me that well. He's a competitor, and we're just they're going to go at it, and I believe them. I believe them that this match is going to surprise everybody.
What's your anticipation level?
Maybe a 7.
A 7? Did anything on SmackDown help? Did you watch Talking Smack at all? Did watching The Miz lose his life savings on Total Divas with his stupid wife buying a house? That did not give you at least anything.
I got sympathy for him, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna, I'm glad they said it's the last time they're gonna fight.
I know, I'm getting sick of it too.
Yeah, I think it's not gonna go on last. Matter of fact, I think it's gonna go on first. I think it's gonna be the opener of the whole show.
I wouldn't mind that either.
Get the ball rolling on everything.
Same thing with your thing with 205 Live.
Yeah.
Start strong. That's
I always love the fact that on a TLC pay-per-view they have a TLC match and then they have a ladder match. Like, what the fuck is the difference? Come on, seriously. Like, what? They can't use chairs and tables and shit.
Technically, a ladder match is no DQ, so you could use anything. Yeah. It's just that the ladders and the tables aren't provided. You have to go find them.
The chairs and tables.
Yeah. Excuse me, the chairs and the tables.
Anyway, and prediction: who's the champ right now?
The Miz.
Fuck. Ziggler. I don't know.
I've got the Miz winning, dude. We've been fans of this run, this heel run with Maurice. I want it to keep going. I want to see the next person that's going to try to foil the power couple on SmackDown. I've got the Miz winning this, and my anticipation is at a 7.
I like the I don't think we brought this up when we talked about Charlotte and Sasha. There were some dissenters online or whatever saying that, oh man, hot potato with the title.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't mind it that much because the match was good, and I think that this is either the last or the second to last because, of course, Sasha gets a rematch or whatever.
No, I don't think that was the case.
Well, I hope you're right. But I mean, I don't know.
You know what?
Technically, the automatic rematch rule is something that needs to go from wrestling. I don't think that it needs to be there anymore because you're always wind up in these fucking awkward ass situations where this should have been the end of the feud, but since it ended in a title change, automatic rematch. Like, fuck, this rule needs to go.
Mick Foley restarted the match on Raw specifically because he made it clear this was the last time they were wrestling and they couldn't have it end like this. So technically, this should be the last time we see Charlotte and Sasha.
Should, and I agree with you. It should be. But if they do that whole bullshit, automatic rematch bullshit.
So
then,
Miz and Ziggler.
Anyway, Miz and Ziggler. I hope Miz retains.
Shocker.
Even though I don't like, I kind of want both guys to win because I don't want Ziggler to be left out in the fucking cold with nothing to do for another year and a half until they realize, hey, you know what? This guy run.
All right, what about this? A few months ago when they brought in the real life stuff when there's feud, and they said that he'll put his career on the line.
Yeah,
it was revealed at that point that he signed. He re-signed and everything. But what if that was just an extension? Maybe he just signed till the end of the year. And maybe this is silently his last match, or maybe something like that.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean,
maybe he gets traded for Cesaro when he goes to Raw, and maybe something happens on Raw.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing. I would like for them to say, I would like to say, like you said, have them just move on and have Miz fight somebody else with the title, still have that heat with Bryan, still go on to Talking Smack and talk shit about Bryan and this and
Fucking have Ziggler cut to 205.
Yeah. And have well, that's the thing with Ziggler. I don't have the confidence in WWE to have the care of his character to have him take this loss and still go on to something else that's still relevant. I want both Miz and Ziggler to be relevant, and I'm not confident that they could give relevancy to Ziggler with him taking this loss.
I can go either way with Miz or Ziggler.
Yeah,
true. On the chat here, I really doubt that's the last time that they wrestled. WWE always says that they end up wrestling again like a month later. All right, and then Old Pound Chick here says Ziggler is winning because he has to feud with Corbin.
We'll get there.
Couldn't Miz feud with Corbin?
No, not as a face.
No, okay.
SmackDown Tag Team Titles.
Okay,
Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton against Heath Slater and Rhino. Travis, what is your anticipation level?
it's not really my anticipation level because my anticipation is maybe like a 5.
Mm-hmm.
But my prediction is I think finally we're going to get somewhere with the Wyatts. I think with Orton, as you've always said, Abel, don't make him face, don't make him interesting.
Yes.
I think they're doing a good job as of right now.
As of right now.
I don't know where they're going,
I
but
agree.
as of right now, he's interesting.
As of right now, he's interesting and Wyatt's interesting. Both of them are.
Right. So Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, and even what Harper's doing in the background is kind of like he's cautious about what's going on. All that's working very well. On the flip side of that, I don't give two shits about Heath Slater, his kids, or Rhino. They have been the worst reigning champions since this brand split. Seriously, what have they done? What have they done?
Nothing.
Thank you. Get those fucking titles off them. Split them up. Put Rhino back on NXT. Do something with Heath Slater. I don't give a shit. Get rid of him. Do something. We've been asking for this for 3 years now, or 2 years. Do something meaningful with Wyatt. And I think this could be the start of it, unless it's a hot potato thing. But again, right now, we just don't know what's going on in the future. Right now, do something with them right now.
I think this is the one title change that would not necessarily be a hot potato title change that would be good. That is a good change. I think it needs to happen because you're investing a whole lot into the Wyatts. Even if Orton is playing the long game to put a wedge between Harper and Bray, you got to do more so that everybody buys it. Bray buys it. Harper buys it. We buy it.
Rowan,
everybody
if he comes back.
Yeah, Rowan if he comes back. Right now, Harper ain't buying it.
Right.
That's what makes it interesting.
Right.
If you get it to the point where Harper does buy it, that's when from out of nowhere, RKO, boom. To do that, winning the titles, having Orton win the titles for Bray. Let's say Bray is the one who needs to tag out, makes a hot tag. In comes Orton, RKO, 1, 2, 3, boom. I saved the day. I won the titles. Wyatt family strong again. Yeah, that's what needs to happen. I want to see it happen. I'm interested in the match because of Bray, because of Orton, because of Harper. All of them have my interest peak. I'm at 8.
And this will be the first time they'll have a gold title or have a title win for the Wyatts.
Yep.
Not necessarily. Luke Harper was the Intercontinental Champion.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about
As a family?
Bray Wyatt.
Okay. I wasn't.
When does Bray Wyatt have a title?
Abel just said everything. I'm at an 8 for the match.
Okay. What's next?
And I've got them winning too.
Yeah.
Next match. No DQ. Carmella versus Nikki. Anticipation, prediction in 3 minutes or less.
About a 7. This has been a nice little snacky type thing that just, whatever. I mean, Carmella went out there, called out Cena, ran Cena down, ran Nikki down, says some inflammatory stuff. Nikki runs out there, beats her up. It's very straightforward. I like it. It doesn't need to steal the show. Ta-da. Nikki will finally get her comeuppance. Nikki will win. There you go.
I thought she already got her comeuppance in the last pay-per-view.
Did she?
Yeah.
Well, she's going to continue to get it.
What's your anticipation level?
Who won the last match?
Nikki did on pay-per-view.
She beat Carmella?
Yeah.
Okay. Anticipation, maybe like a 6. I appreciate this feud. I think it's something that they both needed. But it's been 3 months.
Yeah.
The original idea behind what caused the heel turn in this, get over it. It's like you needed to have some more substance onto that. So I'm hoping they end it. If they do, I'm going to say Nikki's going to beat her.
Okay.
I want more substance too. In order for that to happen, sadly, it has to continue, but not necessarily right away. I'm at a 8 for this match because this consistently has been good.
They have been good
from
matches.
The beginning.
Right.
There's good chemistry between these two. I am predicting Carmella wins by injuring Nikki Bella's neck to the point that she's out for a couple of months. And she comes back right around WrestleMania. And we finish this off. They're pushing 2 different shows on the E Network, and you're gonna have your baby face from that show come back as a complete heel. I mean, as a complete face from injury to beat up on the bully. Yeah,
this is
payoff at WrestleMania.
You just said it. She's on TV right now, so they're not going to not have her on TV when you be using her to promote those shows on E.
Yeah, I agree.
But my thing is, I want a resolution to who hurt Nikki.
That's what. Yeah, that's yeah.
That's got to be resolved.
Yeah.
Stat.
Do you think it's Carmella?
No.
Do you think it's Carmella?
No.
I don't think so either. That makes the whole storyline more interesting for me.
How about this?
It's a dude.
No, how,
It was Cena. It was Big Cass.
It was Cena all along.
Well, that's where I'm going. Carmella's going out there talking so much smack about Cena. How much of a departure of a role would it be for Cena to show up after this long hiatus, not because he wants to get back to competition, not because, he finally got his smile back and he wants to fight for a title, but because he's coming back to support his woman, defending her honor. Of course, he's not going to beat up Carmella, but he's going to be the one on the outside playing cheerleader while Nikki is in there fighting with Carmella.
Have you seen Total Bellas? He's not going to do that. He's a douche.
Okay.
Last match. Apparently, there's no pre-show. At least none that's advertised.
Something will get thrown on there.
Chairs match. Kalisto versus Baron Corbin. Travis, your anticipation level. You harped earlier about the force-fed.
Yeah, this
huge.
is definitely forced.
And, yeah.
The only thing I like about this whole thing is Baron Corbin's been wearing a T-shirt now.
Well, yeah, to cover up that gut.
That jack-o'-lantern.
Like my gut over here, you know? I'd wear a T-shirt too.
I'm done. That's all I got to say about
What's your anticipation level?
I don't know. 4? I don't know.
Who you have winning?
I don't know.
Borton?
Baron.
You call him Borton?
Baron Corbin, that guy.
Hey, well, what's your anticipation?
Because Kalisto
level?
needs to be on 205 Live, not fucking SmackDown.
I agree wholeheartedly. My anticipation level is a 5. Kalisto should be over there fighting with the cruiserweights. Give the cruiserweight division a fucking established name. Fucking Kalisto or fucking Neville. Somebody. Or we were talking earlier about Ziggler cutting weight, going over there. They need to have some other people in that division that's established to get other people to look at it and say, "Oh, this is pretty cool. I came for the Ziggler. I stayed for the Swan." That's what they need. That's what they need.
I don't disagree with that.
My anticipation is at about a 6.
You motherfucker.
Because you know why? Because I like the little Mexican standing up to the big bully. I like that. And the chair evens the odds, so I can kind of understand. It's not as ham-fisted as the rest of the others.
Evens odd when Baron Corbin gets a chair.
Yeah,
that's very odd.
Yeah, and I've got Corbin winning this wholeheartedly.
Yeah,
but still,
but you know what? You have WWE little man booking. They're gonna make him Rey Mysterio.
I told you this. Yeah, it's gonna happen. 205 Live. Fuck that shit. They're gonna put him in the main event next year.
So are you okay? So you're gonna job out this guy that you're building up as a big heel.
He could take the loss. What kind of meaningful wins has he had since he got on the main roster anyway?
Exactly.
That's the point.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm agreeing with Travis on this one. Corbin needs a meaningful win. Kalisto doesn't need a meaningful win.
And I don't have faith that WWE will actually do that.
Yeah.
He couldn't even do it on fucking NXT.
Kalisto's what the fuck? Kalisto's a little luchador with bright colors. Kids are going to cheer for him no matter what.
There you go.
He's the Sami Zayn of SmackDown.
I want to go that far.
He has more racial appeal. He'll get over more than a loser Sami Zayn will. Overall, anticipation for the entire shebang.
I think it's been kind of high for me. I'm going to go with my 8 overall.
7, maybe 6.5.
Crunching the numbers, I might be on an 8 too.
Listeners, where are you at? Continue.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
I asked the listeners on Facebook before we started recording.
Nobody answered him.
Nobody answered.
Facebook.com/Houston Wrestling Radio.
Or on the Twitter. At H Wrestling Radio.
H Wrestling Radio. Yeah. Or just tell me right now in the
Instagram, chat. Pinterest, YouPorn, wherever. Snapchat. Yeah.
We don't have a YouPorn account.
That you know of.
Yet. Yeah. If you want to chime in real quick, do so.
That's it, man. That's the whole thing in a nutshell.
That's the whole kit and caboodle, the whole shebang bang.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We were talking a lot about Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio is going to be here in Houston in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
ROW Christmas Chaos
11. Christmas Chaos 11.
I thought you were saying that was the date. I was like, I thought it was the 12th. Oh. Yeah, Christmas December 12th, I believe. Well, I don't know. Whichever day is the Saturday of that weekend.
Yeah. I
think it's the 12th. Now you got me all confused.
It's the 11th because the next Saturday is the 18th, and I'll be in California from this holiday.
Okay, there you go. So Christmas Chaos 11 on the 11th. Come see Rey Mysterio. Alex Martinez says that, I'm at a 7.
Okay.
He's at a 7 for TLC. All right. Are
any of you guys going to SmackDown, the first show after TLC? The first build for Royal Rumble for SmackDown.
Well, they may not be. I mean, they might be in Houston.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh.
We'll see.
Well.
Yeah. Well, I know for sure. Old Pound the Chick isn't. Is he in like Carolina, North Carolina, something like that?
Yeah. So he's probably not going.
Yeah, he's probably not going. So we have
He still thinks
TLC.
we have listeners.
We have TLC in Dallas, and then where's Raw?
Raw's in Austin.
Austin, and then Houston.
SmackDown is
SmackDown.
Houston.
You're going to Dallas? You're going to TLC?
I'll be at TLC on Sunday, and then I'll be at SmackDown on Tuesday.
Okay, so you're not going to Raw.
For what? I hate Raw. We made this abundantly clear. 3.5 hours is no.
Okay.
So SmackDown. Hopefully the 205 Live is better.
Are you going to stick around for 2 of us?
I have to, yeah.
You don't have to.
Well, I have to, but I'm taking my nephew. He doesn't want to turn any kind of wrestling away.
That's true.
So I'm sticking there to the bitter end.
That's true.
And once I drop him off, I'll go home and drink myself to sleep.
This guy.
Sounds like a plan.
That's hey, it's worked.
You mentioned Old Pound the Chick not sending you those files. He said, dude, you never gave me your email, bro.
Oh, shit. We'll get there. Yeah.
Giggity. All right,
that's
guys. That's it. That's the show. Thank you so much for joining us on the live chat. Anybody listening to this didn't get a chance to or whatever, hey, what?
One more thing.
One more thing. Since we have some listeners listening to us, watching this right now,
Okay.
you can see me and Chris
Oh, this son of a bitch.
on our other show, Pop Culture Rewind, on YouTube. You're on YouTube right now. Just do a search, Pop Culture
We've
Rewind.
been killing the Walking Dead reviews. Next week,
Get it.
next week we're gonna
Yeah.
have another episode on the Walking Dead. Yeah.
We've been doing 2 episodes at a time, but we also been throwing in some other pop culture movie news and TV news. And,
Nice.
yeah, we try to throw a little bit of everything in
A little
there.
bit, a little something.
Pop Culture Rewind. Go check it out.
If you're watching now, again, hit the like and subscribe. Well, not like. Well, there's a thumbs up button. Yeah, hit the thumbs up for us, please. I would very much appreciate that.
It looks like this.
Hit the subscribe button. That way you know when we come online, because we try to be online every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Sometimes the 8 p.m. part.
8:05. The super thinking daddy.
That sometimes doesn't work out quite as much. Technical difficulties in us eating at McDonald's because we're fat asses and whatnot.
And we need cables.
Yes, we need cables. So yeah, just show us a little bit of love. Because we show you love.
One more thing. Just to
One more
let
thing.
them know what's going on.
1 + 1 = 2.
Yeah. We've had 2 episodes of the Dark Match.
The dark match.
We're planning our end of the year episode. It's coming up at the end of December. And to follow that up, our next edition of the Dark Match, we are doing our damnedest. We are going to do a post-show review for Wrestle Kingdom 11.
Yes.
From New Japan.
Not Roadblock, not TLC.
Yeah.
No,
Wrestle Kingdom most likely will be our next
we're not going to do every
Dark
minor
match.
WWE pay-per-view, no. But yeah, at Wrestle Kingdom, we'll do a Dark Match episode for that. Dark Match is basically our immediate reaction episode after watching a pay-per-view together. We just, watch the thing, cut it off, cut this thing on, and then we just say what the hell we thought about it right then and there.
We'll be a few days late because the New Japan is on Wednesday, January 4th, and that airs at like 2 a.m. And we have work, we have lives, and then we have to come here and record. So we're not going to have time to watch it. So that following Sunday, we're going to watch it. And
Try to avoid spoilers as best as we can.
And then we will do our post-show recap on it.
Yeah, so our reaction will still be
It'll fresh to us.
It'll be fresh to us.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, tentatively, that's what we got ourselves penciled in for. I don't know, we might have something pop up between here and there. We might have something pop up after. We're trying to diversify our portfolio here. So
That's it.
yes, that's it. Thank you so much for joining us every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Try to tune in next week, same YouTube channel. Adios, my friends. Keep it classy.
Toodles. Bro, we started at 8:15. We closed at 9:49. We damn near did the 30-minute brackets like we planned.